everybody. I hope everybody's doing okay this afternoon or this evening. I told you all in my last video that I was going to make Oscar some bran muffins, so I thought I would do a video on them. They're not hard to make at all. I went ahead and done some of the stuff ahead of time as far as chopping some things up, but not everything. Let's see. Welcome if you're a new subscriber, and welcome to our channel. You'll see that I've got most of the ingredients right here that I'll be using. I've already got my tins in my little muffin pans, and I've already got my nuts chopped. Those are walnuts. Got my bananas mashed. So we will, oops, see what we can do here. I've got to try to get you on this pedestal thing without, sorry about that, without falling off. Okay. But anyway, raise you up just a tad. What we're going to do, I'm using, everything I've bought here myself. I'm not sponsored by anybody or anything like that. I'm using all bran cereal. I guess you could use any kind of cereal that's bran. The ingredients is a cup of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, quarter teaspoon of salt, a cup of all bran cereal, a cup of mashed bananas, 2 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla, quarter cup of margarine softened, half cup of sugar, and a half cup of chopped walnuts. And there is the recipe. Okay. Now we have to let the bananas and the cereal mix together and kind of get softened. So even though it's step 2 on the box, I go on and do it first because that way it can be getting softened up. And I need to put the cereal, the bananas, the eggs, and the vanilla together, mix it up here, and let it stand till the cereal gets softened. So I need a cup of the cereal. Point you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to do a cup of cereal. Okay. And they just look like little sticks. See? Okay, we're going to put that in here. And if you go a little over something, it's not the end of the world, so don't worry about it. Okay, and let's see. Okay, I've got my bananas. I need 2 eggs put in there. And I use Eggland's Best. I think they are the best eggs. I love Eggland's Best eggs. So, we'll put them in there. And I do have a couple of dirty dishes in the sink because I've went ahead and done some stuff earlier. So, just kind of get this all kind of blended in here. And that'll help get this cereal softened a little. Okay. Then I also need to add the vanilla, and I need a teaspoon of vanilla. So, get a teaspoon of vanilla. Teaspoon of vanilla. If you go over a little bit or something, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's not, I am fine tweaking this recipe anyway, so I'm adding pineapple and stuff to it. It doesn't call for that, but I'm just kind of, I wing it. I just add some things. I mean, they're muffins, they're not that hard to make. But I am going to mix all this together, and that way the cereal will be getting softened. And to mash the bananas, it's easy for me. I use this thing right here that is really for chopping up hamburger and stuff. But that's what I used to chop the bananas up, to mush them up a little bit. So we're going to leave that right there. Okay, then we need our oven set at 350, so I'm going to run over here and do that real quick. Let that be preheating. Okay, then in the other bowl, we need a cup of all-purpose flour. So, let me move the nuts over here. I need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and I used my 1 cup measuring cup a minute ago, so let me get another one. Are you like me? You got measuring cups all over the place? Well, I do, here and there. I can't half read what these say, but I keep these on this little ring because if I don't, I'll lose them all. Here is 1 cup, and I need a cup of all-purpose flour. So, let me get a knife. Just use the flat side of the knife. I'm sure you all might know this, but if some of you aren't cooks, this is a good way to show you. And that just levels off that flour. So we're going to put that in a bowl. Okay. So we're done with the flour. So we're going to put it over here and out of the way. There's a kitty cat. Okay, and then I need a teaspoon of baking powder. So we got baking powder. I need a teaspoon of that. I used this end, so I'm going to use this end now of baking powder. Put that in there. Okay, and that's why I like that double-ended measuring spoon. And I need a half a teaspoon of baking soda, which I did not get. Hang on just 1 second. Baking soda, baking soda. Yeah, kitty, move out of the way before you get, go on, move out of the way. Okay, and then a half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a quarter teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm sorry, I thought I had all my stuff out here, and I always forget this step. It's actually in a container that I usually get my flour out with, but I didn't, so there we go. Okay. Then I need a quarter teaspoon of salt. So here's the salt. Okay. And I think that is all of those kind of ingredients I need in here. It is. Okay, and then we're just going to mix that up. It says to mix these together, so you want to make sure the flour, the baking powder, the salt, everything gets mixed together well. So that's what we're doing here, just mixing it together. Okay. Now, while that's sitting over here in the mixer, we want to do a quarter pound of margarine softened, which I do have that here, and I'm going to turn you over here. You know what? Let me see if I can move you over here. This might be a little better to put you over here. Let me see if I can without making a wreck here. As you can tell, this ain't no studio. Okay, I'm wanting you down here where my mixer is. Are you on my mixer here? Can you see my mixer? Yeah, you can see the mixer, I think. Okay. I'm putting a teaspoon of butter down, or teaspoon, quarter cup of butter down in here. Okay. Then we need a half a cup of sugar. And our oven is preheated. And we need a half a cup of sugar. So we're going to take a half a cup of sugar. Let me find the half cup. There we go. Let's get him out of here. Okay. We are using stevia sugar, okay, because we're trying to cut back. He's diabetic, so we have to make substitutions sometimes. So we're going to do a half a cup of sugar, okay. Now I always put just a teensy bit more in. You do not have to, I just do. I think it helps a little bit with the sweetness of the muffin. It doesn't hurt anything. It's stevia sugar. So we are going to cream this. Let that keep going round and round. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring you back over here. Bear with me here. Okay. Now, while that's doing that over there, we are going to take the pineapple, which I'm adding on my own. This is not in the recipe at all. I'm just adding it on my own. Set this stuff out of the way. When I get done with stuff, I like to get it up out of my way. This ledge on this countertop comes in handy for that. Put my pans over here. I'm not quite ready for them yet. I've already got the tins in them. Okay, I'm going to take my food processor. Okay. I'm going to put some pineapple down in here to get it crushed up, hopefully. I have not used this food processor for this step before, but these are tidbits, so it shouldn't take too much to get this done. So, take a big spoon, and I'm putting a bunch of this in here. And like I say, this is not in the recipe. I'm just doing this on my own and seeing how it goes. I've done this before and it's been fine. That's probably about half a can of these tidbits, okay? Now, also, I'm going to try maraschino cherries this time. I thought I had a whole jar, or at least some in a jar, but my granddaughter stayed all night over the weekend. I think I have 3 cherries left in here. But I am going to put them in here with this pineapple. No, there's more than that. There's 4. Oh, I'm sorry, Emily. Grandpa said there wasn't as many as they are in here, but there are. It's hard to see in this red liquid. I think that's all that's in there. Okay, but I'm going to blend them in, and I'm going to put a little bit of this juice in there to flavor these muffins just a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. I'm just going to pulse this because I just want them, pardon the noise, I hope this is going to work. And it did them a little bit. Let's flick them back out in here. I used my little tiny processor for this before, but I thought maybe this one would do better, but I might not have enough stuff in here to make it worth my while. It's pretty much knocking it over to the side more than anything. But that's okay too. Oh yeah, it did chop them up. It chopped them up pretty good. See, they're chopped up pretty good. It's okay. We did all right. Unplug your appliances before you stick your hand down in here. I'm always scared to death it'll take off on me. But anyway, we got that part done. Now, what we do over here, I'm sorry, we're moving again. Here we go. Okay. Okay, let me turn this around where you can maybe see it a little bit better. There, let me get it farther away from you. Is that better? Okay. Now, what we have to do is add alternately. We're adding alternately our bran cereal. Okay. And our flour and baking soda and salt that we mix together. We will add in our nuts at the end. Okay. And we'll have our bits of pineapple and stuff to add in too, and we'll do it here toward the end. So I'm gonna sit him right there. All right, so you turn it on. It's not really creamed as much as I would like it to be. Let me turn it up a little bit higher. Pardon the noise here for a minute. Still see some butter in there. It needs to be mixed together a bit better. Okay, now what we're doing is going to add a little bit of our flour in. Our bran in here. Okay. Okay. Then we're going to add some of this in, and I'd say this will make it a little more juicy and more liquidy to mix in with. Try that and see what that does. I've done this with blueberries and it's been good. We do it with pineapple, of course. Okay. Turn this up just a minute. Okay. We just alternate between the flour and the cereal. All the different bowls you've got except for the nuts. You just alternate. Whoops. Alternate. Okay, and that'll finish off the bran. Okay. Let's add some more of this. Turn that just a minute. We can grab all that around the sides. I like to turn it off and make sure that it is getting everything down in the bottom of this bowl mixed in. And it seems to be doing really well, pretty well actually. Sometimes it's questionable. Okay. Okay. Now, let's put that back down in there. Let's mix it up some more. blended in pretty good, so we're just going to add our nuts in. I know it looks like they're a pain because of all the bowls, but it's okay. He's working. It's not really as hard as it looks. Okay. Let's move you back over here. Okay. Now, let's turn you over here. Okay, now we're going to fill these muffin tins. Get this out of the way. Plug the mixer. All right. Now, let's see here. There we go. Okay. Ooh, I don't want you to fall off. I'll break the camera. I'm in trouble. All right. This part can get a little messy, but it's okay. What I do is I just kind of take this and kind of scoop it out. Just kind of put them in the tins. And yes, I've got these little cheap muffin tins, but I tell you what, I use these all the time. I've used these and washed them, used them and washed them. And I use these protector things too in here. But I mean, they work just fine. You don't have to go out and buy the most expensive pots and pans or baking dishes or whatever that you can find to cook. You can cook in anything, you know. I have muffin tins, but I use these. I like these real well. Okay, get down in there. These look a little different with the maraschino cherry juice in them. They're usually tan colored, but they're not today. I just kind of fill them all about the same. That way I know they've all got something in there, and then I go back and just kind of fill them a little bit more now that I know I've got extra batter in here. Okay, this one here could use a little more. Because you get a little bit more batter really when you add all this stuff in there that didn't really call for. It kind of gives you a little more batter to choose from. I hope I went out of camera range just then. I wasn't looking. But these are good. They're healthy for you. They're not bad for you. They have bran in them. So, you know, that helps a lot, especially if you're diabetic. I'm going to take these over and put them in the oven over here. It is preheated. I set the timer on about 18 minutes. I don't know if it'll take that long or not. I don't need the maraschino cherry juice anymore, so I'll rinse this out and throw it away. Put you back over here. Let's see. Let me tidy up here a little bit. And I will will be back in just a minute and we'll finish these things up. Thanks.